Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Got a new Marshall. Hey, new Marshall, how you doing, buddy? Haven't seen you in a while. Jim Fletcher, Eric Byers, Sissy Atwell, Robert Hayden, Joe McBride, Eric Byer, Hawkeye. All you wonderful people here for a 1964 Philadelphia roll. This one's a rather unusual one. It's from the Coin Auditing Systems Incorporated. It's the wrapper anyway. 55 Hudson Street, New York, 13, New York. This, of course, was prior to zip codes, back when they had regional codes within cities. So New York 13 was one district, and then New York 10 was a different district. I don't know where New York 1 was. I would assume that would be in Lower Manhattan. But that's where this roll comes from anyway. I don't know anything about the history of the roll per se. I do know who I got it from. I do know that that source is a reliable source for good original rolls, so this one has to be a good one. 1964 is one of those years. We have a number of little double die obverses and double die reverses to look for. It's got double die lids. It has the first ever recorded Class 8 double die. Has doubling next to the I and the N of in, and then a little bit of a stick coming up out of the top of the L of Liberty. It has a number of double die reverses, including one very nice Class 1 double die reverse, known as 1964 P1DR001 or FS501 or 301. Can't remember now. Their numbering system, their new numbering system is, well, new. I call it new, but it's actually 14 years old now. But their new numbering system is a little difficult to get used to, I guess. Their old numbering system was almost impossible to use. You pretty much had to know what every die was in order to even know what you had, because, you know, FSO 37.2 doesn't mean a whole lot of anything to anyone, but an FS 101 at least means that you have a double die obverse. So it's a good start, I suppose. Sounds to me like somebody's downstairs making something in the kitchen. I can hear a mixer all the way up here. I'm going to finish stuffing these flips here real quick. Once again, I'm unprepared, but I spent the whole last hour and a half. Had to go walk the dog. Then I came back in and I was working on getting rolls ready for next week. I looked up at the clock and I had 10 minutes left to get ready for this week, and then I had a couple of slight jitters and malfunctions in my computer that kept me from being able to get done as quickly as I wanted to, so I was just a little bit behind. Well, who scheduled me for a half hour anyway? Oh, I guess that was me. Scheduled myself to come on at 1:30. I'm usually not on the half hours. Usually on just on the whole hours. All right, there we go. There's that. Here's our names. Get these extra flips out of the way real quick. Bring my bag back into the story. Get these names down inside my bag. Make sure my bag's empty first. There we go. Okay, my bag's empty. Now it's not. And I'm going to get started. I have with me here my handy dandy roll opener. Who else we get in here since I showed up here? Let's see. Steve Patat, Steve A, Jeff Dunn, Wild Bill, Adam Chambers, Tim Crowell. Well, that's usually true. Better late than never. So I at least try to be late, because I don't like to be never. Alright, there's one end of our roll coming open. My handy dandy little roll opening tool. I got a lot of rolls coming up, folks. I just made a huge deal yesterday. Came up with a good, close to 24 wheat cent original rolls to open up for you guys. A couple of dozen of them. Those are going to be cool. I got a couple of rolls of 43D to open up. I haven't seen inside of them, but they're tubed rolls. They're not original rolls. But you guys asked for more steel scents, so we'll do some steel scents. And here we go, 1964 Philadelphia roll. Get our first peek inside. Oh no. Some of these coins are pretty spotty. Ooh. We might end up just doing another roll. Okay. I'm not liking the condition of some of these coins. We'll go ahead and go through this roll. And I'll make a decision toward the end as to whether or not we need to move on and do another roll or not. But some of these coins are not in the best condition. Let's go ahead and start drawing names and pulling out spots and pulling out coins and seeing what we've got. Our first one's going to be Justin Bussman. Justin Bussman will get the one that was on the end of the roll right here. See how spotty that is? Not in love with spotty coins, folks. I don't like spots. Let's see if this has anything on it worth pulling it out for. Now the 4 is known to have hub doubling, as are the letters in trust. So really kind of have to watch these a little closely because there's some possibility, some chance that we could come up with really good stuff in this roll. So even though the coins are spotty, we're going to take a look through them anyway, and then we're going to make a decision based on what we catch at the end. If we've got some nice major die varieties, I'm going to call it like it is. But if we don't catch much of anything out of here, I'm going to end up going through another roll for you because I do not like the quality of this one. And I do have 1964 rolls. So that was coin number 1 for Justin Bussman. There wasn't anything on it, so move on to coin number 2 for Paul Hampton here. Coin number 2 for Paul Hampton. It's a decent red coin. Nice little red coin, nothing on the obverse. Let's take a look at the reverse real quick. There's a struck through area right there. Had something like a little ball of glup or something sitting on the die when this coin was struck, and it struck through that little viscous ball of something. Okay, got nothing on this coin. That's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping we can land some good varieties in this roll. All right, coin number 3. Hello, Stephen Dallas. Hope you're holding up Oregon really well. Let's see, there's one that has that little tiny bit of doubling on the end of the crossload of the 4. If you look right above the end of the crossload of the 4, there's just a little tiny flag. I do not call those. I'm not going to list those because they're too much of a headache to bother. And I don't think there's a whole lot of collector interest in them anyhow. I'll list a lot of stuff, but I don't list those. Hey, here we've got a nice one. This is a good one. Remember I said something about that very first ever listed Class 8 double die? This is one of them. This is Kaneka DDO number 22. You can see the top of an I and an N sitting just to the right of the I and the N. And then when I go down to the top of the L, you'll see a stick coming up out of the top of the L. That's another little part of an L. So you have an extra L, an extra I, and an extra N on this coin. This is a very nice double die. These things run generally $15 to $25. In nice uncirculated condition. This one is an uncirculated coin. It's not spotty, but it does have some color issues from the planchet wash. But this is a very nice double die. It's DDO number 22 as Kaneka writes it. I'm not sure what I have it listed as. I do know I have it listed, but I can't remember the number. This is not going to have a double die reverse because that die was paired with a normal reverse die. So there's a nice pickup right here for Mr. Patet. Hope he's still around. See, we got a nice DDO for Mr. Patet there. You never look at 64p. Oh my gosh. You're missing one of the nicest, possibly one of the nicest double die reverses in the entire Lincoln Memorial series. It's between that and the 83 as to which one is nicest. I'm not really sure. All right, here's Dennis Paulson. Dennis Paulson gets the next coin in the roll. There's another one, the little tiny flag right there. You can see the little tiny flag on the top of the crossload of the 4. It's just so small, so indistinct. This is not DDO number 22. And check the eye real quick. Does not appear to be a double die obverse at all. And for the double die reverse, perhaps, hopefully, maybe. We can hope, right? Have faith in me. I will find us a good roll. Come with me to the dark side. And together we can rule the galaxy. All right, that's coin number 4. It's going to be a normal coin in this roll. And here's Jeff Dunn. Let's see what Jeff Dunn ends up with. Let's check the in first. Because if we check the in first, then we don't need to really check anything else because we know. This particular one does not have the doubling on the in. Don't see anything on the obverse at all, actually. Luke, I am your father. Okay, we got nothing there on coin number 5. Gonna end up having to move on to coin number 6 and see what we find there. Coin number 6 is dun 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 dun. Jeff Dunn again. Jeff Dunn. Let's check the in first. So we know we're running into those. Hopefully we find a bunch of them in here. This is not one of them. Nothing on the L. Nothing on the 4. Nothing on the I. Nothing in the motto. Nothing up my sleeve. Presto. We look at the reverse. And I see nothing here. Nothing there. Thank you, Jim Fletcher. I enjoy you being at all of my rolls. Look at that. Mr. Fletcher gets the next coin. He talks nice to me and he gets the next coin. What do you know? Maybe there's a lesson in that. No, I'm just kidding. Now see, there's another one. The little flag on top of the crossload of the 4. I mention them, but they're not going to be something I'm going to list. If you guys want to kill yourselves trying, you can try to attribute them by the ones that John Wexler has listed on his website, if he does. I'm not even 100% sure he does. This is a nice earlier die state coin. This one would be a really nice one if it were a double die, but it does not happen to be a double die, so we're going to continue moving on and go on to the next coin. The next coin on the roll will be number 8. I got coin number 7 here for Jim Fletcher. So why did I want to call him Joe Fletcher? It's not Joe Fletcher, it's Jim Fletcher. Coin number 8 goes to Justin B, and it's not Justin Bieber. It's Justin Bussman. Let's see what we got for Mr. Bussman over here. Yes, on a number of the 1964 Philadelphia double die obverses, there are signs of doubling on the crosslet, but they're far better than these little teensy tiny flags that I've been pulling out of this roll so far. Trust me, there's a couple of them that are really nice on the 4. I like those. I pull them out. 1972 has the same issue. The little flags on the top of the top of the lower leg of the 2. You got one, DDO number 9, really, really nice double die. Most of the rest of them are just minor little tiny, tiny things. And probably half the dies have them, and they're just not worth getting involved in. Randy, you have not missed your name yet. Adam Chambers. Randy, are you in this role? Because I don't remember you being in this role. Yeah, let me check real quick. Because I don't remember. Randy, your name's not in this role. You got in one of the later roles. You were in 127, which is the 58D roll. That will be tomorrow. And let's see, you're also in the 1945D roll, which will be tomorrow, that's going to be on Saturday at 7 p.m. Let's see, what else are you in, Randy? You did not get into either one of the bag reveals. So you got a reveal tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. And then you have another one on Saturday at 7 p.m. But you're not in this one. Now let's keep looking on this coin. That doesn't mean you're a bad person. You just need to try harder. But sprinkles are for winners. Okay, we've got nothing there on coin number 9. I'm excited to have found one nice double die obverse so far in this roll. That's one you don't find very often. Those are pretty nice. Majestic, I'll go slower for you, okay? That way you'll catch up faster. Is that how that works? Man, these coins are kind of icky spotty, but if we find some nice double dies in here, we're just going to call this roll. Because, you're getting a $15, $20 double die out of a dollar pull. You're doing pretty well. So if I can get 10, 15, 20 of these out of here, then we can call it in the air, right? Randy. Silver Nitrate says, Randy. Just call him Agno. Call him Agno. AGNO3. Silver Nitrate. Agno. That's what I call him when I'm sorting. Sorting people out. Call his name up as Agno. I got little short nicky names I call you guys when I'm sorting your names out when I'm getting ready to ship. Which, by the way, is something I am going to be doing relatively soon. I have a floor full of 1949S RPMs right now that I'm trying to make it through. For those of you who didn't make it to the show a couple hours ago, this 1949S roll that I went through last week is a completely unprecedented roll. There's nothing that I've seen like it before. There's over 30 coins in the roll were RPMs, but that's not the amazing part. The amazing part was that there were at least 15 different dies. 15 different dies. And I'm trying to go through and identify all of those, photograph them, get them listed. But that's darn near a full week process by itself. And for those of you who were not in the 49S roll, I apologize. but I do everything in groups so that I can keep everything straight and everything together. I can't just hold out the orders that had the 49S in it and ship everything else. My system simply cannot work that way. I work here by myself. I have to keep everything straight. And the only way I can keep everything straight is to ship everything together. I know that's lame. That's very lame of me. It's a horrible excuse, but that's how I do business, and I'm sorry if you don't like it. But over 30 coins in the roll were RPMs. And of that, there were at least 15 different ones. So I'm going to show you guys something real quick. And I know some of you have already seen this because you were here last hour. But I'm going to show this to the folks who were not here, because I want you to be able to see what I go through sometimes when I'm trying to identify RPMs in a roll. I've got all of these. Every one of these is identified by... This is something I didn't show to the other people earlier. Okay, so this one right here is in reveal number 123. It's coin number 35 in the roll. It's a 1949S. The photographs I used are on roll 3660 through 3669. The coin is from Chuck Daughtrey. I'm the one who identified it as 1949S RPM number 9, 1MM009. It crosses to Variety Vista, which is Kaneka, RPM number 9, and Wexler's WRPM 3. And I have, 10 photos of this one, 3660 through 3669, that are going to be published on coppercoins.com. The green dot simply means that it's already been identified and photographed. And so I've got other dots for other purposes. But that's what this means. And I've got this so far for 12 of the 15 different dies. There's 12 of the 15 different dies right there in this roll. The red dots means that I've not yet identified it, have no identification for it, have no cross-reference for it. Basically, I haven't found it listed anywhere. The yellow dots means that I've found it listed somewhere else, but I do not have it listed at all, so it's a new die to Copper Coins. And then the green dots means that I've already found it in Copper Coins. I already know what it is in Copper Coins. I may be replacing the images on Copper Coins, but these are not new dies to the listing system. And yes, it is a lot of work. That's why I'm trying to tell you guys. When you guys don't get a package after a week and a half, 2 weeks, it's probably because I got stuck in something like this. This roll has cost me probably 20 hours of time so far. And given that it's cost me 20 hours of time, that's 20 hours of my week put into one roll of coins. Now, I'm not complaining about anything. I love doing this. This is my passion. This is what I do for a living. But what you have to understand is that when your package is late, it's late for a good reason. I'm not sitting on it for nothing. So there we go. All right, moving on to lucky coin number 13. Lucky coin number 13 is this one right here, Levels of Madness. I'm trying to do everything I can possibly do to get you guys ahead in the coin collecting arena. Those of you who watch me and watch what I do and follow me and buy from me, you're going to get my personal level of care. Everybody gets my personal level of care. And if I don't respond to an email, or I don't respond to a text message, or I don't respond right away to other things, please have patience for me. I have autistic spectrum disorder. I get very stuck on things, and when I get stuck on things, I basically don't pay attention to the rest of the world. My wife has learned to live with that. And silver nitrate, that is coming in the future. These larger photographs that are being added now to the website are a precursor to what we will have next year, later this year to next year, what's going to occur? And see that little, I'm going to interrupt myself here. See that little tiny flag coming off the left side of that T? It's going to be on top of the crossbar of the T up there. That is a double die that would be listed by Mr. Wexler. It's not one that I would list, but he calls that an extra little horizontal cross to the T sticking out of the left side of the T. I have to see more in order to be convinced myself that that's what I'm looking at. But this one has a little flag on the top of the 4, and it has the little flag on the left of the T, and it does or does not have, no, it does not have one on the other T. Sometimes there's one on both T's. I do not call double dies like this because they're too minute, too very, very small. So I don't do the little tiny minute, very, very small like that. Just to let Jeff Dunn know that when he gets this coin and discovers, hey, this is actually a double die. Yes, sir, it is. It is actually a double die. As are most dies, if you magnify them enough, you will find doubling. This is probably a double die. If you bring it up to about 30x beyond where I am, you might see it. But I'm not interested in the things that don't quote unquote have character. They have to have some character. They have to be somebody. And then I'll list them. Adam Chambers. There's going to be a lot of features added to Copper Coins over the next year or so. We're looking for the right programmers to help us work on it. Ready to put some money into getting it developed. We are going to end up with a full catalog of nice images taken with good lighting, nice sharp focus and everything that will help you find the attributes and markers to over 3,000 different Lincoln cent die varieties. On top of that, we will have, that's kind of cool. Never seen a die chip there on the bottom of the S of states. That's different. That would be a really nice marker to something if there was something here to mark, but there's not. So I'm going to move on. So the website will also have a way for paid members to be able to inventory their collection based on Copper Coins die numbers. Basically, use my database to inventory your collection. This one's got a nasty spot right there. Just want to let you know before I get moving in on it. It does have the 4 thingy. It does have the little tiny T thingy. It does not have the die number 22 attribute, so it's probably the last die that I just went through. But this one's kind of an ugly example. That 31, yeah, I'll send you pictures of it, Tim. Just send me an email and ask for it, cd@coppercoins.com. If you send me an email and ask for it, I'll give you the original images. I haven't talked with Shay much lately, actually. I've not had a lot of time. I know Shay is into computers and stuff, and I gave him access to the administrative part of my website so he could go in and look at the code. And we talked about the possibility of him helping out with the code on it, but he never really got anywhere with the idea, and I just kind of dropped it. Not to say that in any way I think Shay is unqualified or anything to that effect. It's just, it takes someone who really wants to do it and really wants to help in order to be successful at really getting anywhere with something like this. It's a very complex project. Another thing I intend on starting with the whole idea of a new version of the website. I don't think I looked at the reverse on this one. I know that because this one's got spots on it. Bad spots. Really bad spots. And I don't think I checked to see if it's a double die. And this one is not. So another thing that we're looking into doing with the new spread that we're going to do is not only is the search function going to be a lot easier to use, but it's going to be a little more user-friendly. You're going to be able to see more information quicker. But another thing that we're headed toward is actually attributing coins and sealing them. Sealing your attributions in a flip. That way they are tamper evident. Tamper evident only means, yes, you can mess with it. You can take the coin out. You can break the holder pretty easily. But once you do, there's no guarantee. Before you break the holder, anything I put on there is guaranteed. That will come as a part of your service in these roll reveals. If I find die varieties, I will attribute them and I will put them in the holder and seal the holder for you. But that's sort of a grading system, you might say, like a grading service. Although it's not really a grading service, I'm not guaranteeing the grade, I'm just guaranteeing the die attribution. Oh, there we go. There's a different one. The bar L. A nice little bar sitting there underneath the L. Little raised area. There we go. You can see it a little better right there. Hello, Mr. Elliott. You're not missing one right now. This is the second variety pulled out of this roll. We're at coin number 19, and this is the second one. This is the second one of these. No, I don't see anything on the eye. Nothing up here on the eye. Nothing on this eye. It's just a bar L. It's probably one of the listed ones. I will find out later. There's nothing else on this one. But, Stephen, we've also found Kaneka die number 22. And that's the one that has the stick on the top of the L and then doubling next to the I and the N of in. Let's check this one for a double die reverse. Most of them don't, for some reason. You get a double die obverse, it generally doesn't share a double die reverse, and that's just weird. There's so many double die reverses, so many double die obverses, and to think that they were never paired together is just amazing. What about the 4, brother? I didn't see anything on the 4. Let me check it again. Nothing there. A little bit of shadow doubling. That's just die wear coming off the right side of the 4. But there's no hub doubling on the 4. We'll get that in a second stack. We're going to call this one die number 2 for this roll. It's going to go to Paul Hampton. Why all of a sudden I feel really hot and it's only 72 degrees in this room. Tim Crowell. Hopefully we find some more of the good ones. I want to see a bunch of good die varieties in this roll. What do we have here? Is that just a spot? No, it looks raised. What? What? Yep, I have another bar L. Let me get the light in close. There we go. You can see a second L underneath the regular L right there. There is a little, we call it spider veining, which is what happens with the planchet wash. When it doesn't come off right, it makes the coins turn kind of a weird brown color. That is a line of spider veining there underneath the L, but you can also see very well a raised area right there. That is a bar under your L. Now you can see it here. Let's go take a look at the 4 and see what happened on the 4. There is a little tiny flag on the top of the 4. That little thing on the cross, like way over on the right hand side. So flag on the top there. Is there a flag next to the T? There is a little flag next to the T. You can see a little tiny flag to the left on the T. Is there a flag on this tee? No flag on this tee. No flag on in or God or anything else, but we do have a bar L. So we have a third different double die obverse. Now let's see if we have anything on the reverse on this one. I knew that eventually we would hit a decent 64 roll. You just got to keep looking through them. There are thousands and thousands of 64 rolls out there. You just have to pick the right ones. And you never know they're the right ones until you open the darn things. So this one's a pretty good one. We've got a third different double die. Now the bar L double dies are not that exciting. Okay, they're not going to be something that are going to put your grandkids through college or anything. But they are nice. They're just fun to look at. And if you're trying to collect a set of Lincolns with all known varieties, these things could be monster difficult to find. There we go. Put a little focus on the subject. This one doesn't have anything on the obverse. Nothing at all. Thought one of yours might have had a bar L. One of the ones I've already looked at in this roll. If you think I've already looked at a bar L in this roll and can give me a reference to a coin, I'll go back and take a look at it for sure. You just talking about any coins that have your name on them, Adam? Okay. I'll go back and take a look real quick. It's not going to hurt me. All right, that's Jeremy Johnson's coin. Let's go back and look for anything that Adam has had in this roll. Wow, 3 coins. You're pretty much torqued out, aren't you? What was that? 3 coin? How many coins did you have in this roll? 3? Bar L time. All right, let's go back. This is going to be coin number 15 for Adam. Hey, look at that. He was right. Oh my gosh, he was right. You got 5 in this roll? Well, 3 of them are gone. But here's one. You were right. It's a bar L. And let me see if I can get a good marker on this, and then we'll try to match it up to Paul Hampton's coin, because I think this one is a match. Let's just call it with these east and west die scratches above Liberty. That's not a highly common thing. So let me go back and grab Paul's coin, and we'll look at it inside the plastic here. And we do have east and west die scratches above the Liberty. We do have a very similar looking ball on the bottom of the L. So I'm going to call this the same die as Paul Hampton's. Very good eye, Adam. I would have found it going back through the roll anyway, but hell, if we can find it during the show, all the better, right? Okay, so Adam's coin number 15 is a bar L. Let's just see how right Adam was, because we know he was right in one case. Let's see about the other 2. The other 2 coins we've not seen yet of Adam's, this being one of them, is not a bar L. And got nothing else on the obverse. And so we're going to put this one back with the other coins. And then we have coin number 9. Coin number 9 belongs to Adam as well. This is coin number 9. We're going to look for a bar on this one. It's not barrel, it's bar L. And basically what that means is that there is a bar underneath the L. If you look at this, you'll see basically nothing. A little tiny thing under the L. It's probably just die wear. Now I'm going to show you a different coin. I'll show you a different coin here real quick. All right, there's that one. Now we're going to look at another one. See that big bulb underneath the L? That is an extra L. That is a class 8 double die. It was tilted and not plumb to the surface when it came down for one of its hubbings. Ended up getting that little smear on there, and that's the bottom of an L. And that's the only part of the coin that's doubled, right there on the L. And that's called a bar L double die. So this one is going to go back to pull Hampton. Coin number 19 there. And this other one, which was Adams, will be coin number 9, and it is not a bar L. Bar L is just something that we call it. Just a little name we gave to it. Well, if you've seen stuff like that and you've thrown it back, that means you haven't gotten a good self-education. You've gotten a partial self-education. I get so frustrated when I go into these coin roll hunting groups, and there's people going through box after box after box of Lincoln cents, just exhausting their bank, looking for wheat pennies. Seriously, folks? Wheat pennies? I got wheat pennies 3 cents a piece, all you could ever want. Why are you bothering with destroying boxes of pennies and hours and hours and hours of time just to find wheat pennies? That makes no sense. Your likelihood of finding a 1914D wheat penny in today's change is probably 0. There might be one out there somewhere in the 320 billion coins currently in circulation. Your likelihood of finding one? 0. Even finding 1970S small dates are difficult, but if you're only looking for wheat pennies, you'll never see a 70S small date because you're not looking for them. It just baffles my mind why anybody would waste their time going through looking for Canadian pennies, like anybody wants them, and for wheat pennies. And I've got my answer. I already know the answer to this. It's not about value. It's about having fun digging through pennies. I tell you what, folks. Ooh, look at that little flaking metal coming up off there. That's kind of cool. The dirt, grime, germs, and other garbage that's on pennies that you get in change, I wouldn't want that junk all over my hands and seeping into my blood system and everything else to look for wheat pennies. Are you serious? You're basically putting your health on the line going through pennies these days. You go through boxes of pennies that you got out of change. I know these don't have a virus on them because they've been wrapped since 1964. But the stuff that you get from the bank, well, if it's not corroded, spotted, and otherwise just ugly looking, then you take a chance on catching something, getting sick or whatever, just looking through the coins to find whatever's there. But most of what anyone who actually knows what they're doing and actually cares is finding in the more modern sets of coins from the bank, I'm going to call it boxes, bags, rolls, whatever you're getting, you're pretty much going to find shield cent double dies, especially 2004 for some reason. You'll find the different types of 1982 Lincolns. You might find a few late 80s RPMs. Some chance that you could find, I mean, you're, not great, but some chance you could find an 83 double die reverse or an 84 double die obverse or the 97 doubled ear or the 1995 double die, the real strong one. And man, those things are fun to find. You might find a 98 wide AM, a 99 wide AM, a 2000 wide AM. You might find a 92D close AM. You might even find a 92 plain close AM. But not if you're just looking for wheat pennies. Are you serious? And then when I tell people, you might actually find some value if you study up on what you want, what you really should be looking for in this stuff. People tell me I'm trying to control somebody and tell them how to collect. People tell me that I'm being rude by telling someone what they're finding isn't worth anything. Is it really rude when you tell somebody, hey, look, all you're finding is junk. I can help you find good stuff if you just listen to me? How is that rude? I just don't even get it. So, yeah, I tell people in the groups, they'll come in, they'll post a picture of 6 boxes of pennies they're going to go through this weekend. It's like, dude, if you did that even close to right, it would take you 3 weeks to get through 6 boxes of pennies. It would take me probably 8 weeks to get through that many. and you're going to do it in a weekend, well, that means you're not doing it right. That means you're wasting your time. You're wasting the time of your bank. You're wasting any effort you're putting into any supplies or anything else to house these coins. $half are fine. There's nothing wrong with $half. $half, if you want to go dig through $half and make some quick profit on what very few you might find here and there, you're going to find some silver. You dig through enough of them, you'll find some silver. I got no gripe about that. That's not a big issue, for me anyway. I don't really care. My big issue is when you're doing something so totally wrong, you're completely defeating the purpose of doing it. You know, for instance, if you're going through $half, and let's say this is the same, basically the same thing, okay? You go through $half, and the only thing you're looking for are the not intended for circulation coins, and you're skipping everything else. Put all the silver back, put all the Walkers and Franklins back in circulation. You don't care about those. All you want are the NIFCs. That's how stupid that sounds. That's just ridiculous. If I'm going to bother leveraging $500 while I'm going through a box of coins, getting my paws dirty, I want to know everything that I could possibly milk out of that for value. I want to get the silver. I want to know the cherry picker listed double dies. I want to know the cherry picker listed RPMs. I want to know which ones were not intended for circulation and whether or not there's any value in collecting them for resale. I want to know everything I can find out prior to just digging in. Because if all I'm looking for are NIFCs and I don't even know how to tell a silver coin from a clag coin, what good am I doing myself? There are plenty of varieties in the quarters, that is true, especially the statehood quarters and the national parks quarters. A lot of those minor double die coins with doubling in the center area of the design, kind of like how the more modern Lincoln cents are with the columns. Those things can be pretty nice. You know, I think about that sometimes, that if I were to actually offer cash and go into some of the coin roll hunting groups and tell these coin roll hunters, you find me a 1983 double die, I'll pay you $100 to ship it to me. I wonder if anybody would actually bother looking. Well, Sarah, with any design, with any coin, looking through plenty of them and knowing what the normal coin looks like is your best education. Looking through books at pictures of doubling and looking through websites at pictures of doubling and looking at chat boards of people posting stuff. Hey, there's another one of those bar L's right there. Looking at all that kind of stuff isn't going to get you anywhere until you actually have the tactile experience of finding and seeing the stuff in person. This show will help you know what to look for in 1964 Lincoln cents, but it is not going to ingrain into your head exactly what you need to be seeing. That you'll remember it and know it when you come across it. The way you'll know it when you come across it, the way you'll know it when you find it, is if you've already looked through thousands of very similar coins and did not see one, and finally you see one, and it's like, oh, well, that's different. I need to look that up and figure out what it is. That's when you start learning. That's when you start knowing. When you know the characteristics of what a normal coin looks like. See, like that one right there. Okay. That one is skinnier at the bottom than it is at the top. Why? Well, anybody who really knows what they're doing will tell you that was a polished die clash. There was a die clash there that kind of took up part of the design on the one from behind, and then it was polished so that it would take out that mark. And then the polishing raised the field in that area, thus burying part of the one in field. That's what caused that. It has no added value. But if you didn't know that, it would be kind of one of those baffling little things that you'd pull off to the side and ask a question about. When you ask a question about it, you learn about it. Then you plant it into your head, okay, I'm going to run into those and they don't have any value. The next one that you look at, you're going to say, oh, well, there's another one of those. How cute. And then you're going to pass by it and move on. You'll do that so many different times with so many different things as you go on through your collecting experience. You start learning stuff that has value versus stuff that doesn't have value. The reason things have value is because they're hard to find. They're not common. Common things have no value. Well, that's not necessarily true. 1964 quarters have value. But what I'm saying is extra added value over the normal value of something. You're only going to find those once in a while. Once in a great while. You go through a box of 50 rolls of Lincoln cents. That's 2,500 coins, folks. 2,500 coins. Do you know how many valuable coins you should expect to find out of a box? 2,500 coins of Lincoln cents. If it's a circulated, rewrap box that came from your bank, and you've got 2,500 random coins that came out of circulation and were wrapped up and put in that box for you to go through and tear open those rolls, okay, you're going to find an average of probably 10, maybe 15 wheat pennies. Depending on where you live, you could find anywhere from 0 to a couple of hundred Canadian pennies. It just depends on where you live. If you're in Detroit, you're going to find a whole lot more than you will in Tucson, Arizona. But as for valuable repunchment marks, double dies, things like that, out of the rolls that you're buying at the bank today, you can expect to find 1, maybe 2 per box that would draw some extra premium. You might get lucky and find one that'll draw a couple of thousand times extra premium. A couple of thousand times being $15, $20 a coin. But your chances of going through a box, one box, and locating 100 valuable coins is pretty much nil. Your likelihood of doing that is going to be extremely, extremely small. I'm looking at this edge of the TY to see what's going on with them. I got something there. Looks like it could be a clash mark. Right, at that angle right there, they look doubled. Let's see if the 1.9 has that effect, and the 1.9 does not. I call this normal. I don't see anything else anywhere that has any record or sign. Well, I'm not saying not to go through the pocket change boxes. That's what I call them. I call them the circulated boxes that you get from the bank that people will spend a weekend to destroy an entire inventory just so that they can rewrap them and then give them back to you the next week and then eventually tell you, quit coming back. And then you get pissed because, well, they're your bank. They're supposed to give you coins for nothing. Right. They will. If you come in and get a roll once every week or so. But if you're going in and getting 6 or 8 boxes a week and you're destroying their inventory every week, they're going to get really tired of dealing with you very fast. And their job is not to be your thousands and thousands of coins a week dispensary. It's not their job. They're going to start charging you for it. And then they charge people like me who might go in once or twice a year for a box. And then that's where I do get angry. Because now other people have destroyed my opportunity to be reasonable and get a box of coins once in a while from the bank to search through. So now with your lack of reasonability, with your lack of knowing what to go through and how to go through it and pick any real value out of it, and all you're doing is pulling wheat pennies and dumping the rest, you have now robbed me of my opportunity to find decent value in circulatable coins because you don't know what you're doing. And it's not just that you don't know what you're doing. It's that you don't know what you're doing and don't care. That's the part that hurts. That hurts the most. No. Anybody. Not you. I'm talking to everybody. Anybody. Anybody who just goes and digs through rolls of pennies looking for Canadians and wheat pennies. You're the ones I'm talking to. If you're in here, it's my bad luck, your loss, my loss, everybody's loss. Because it's senseless. I love to hear it when people find good stuff. You know, they go to a bank, they'll get a box of coins that's been filled up by customer wrapped rolls that somebody cashed in yesterday. And you just happen to get them today, and half the coins in the rolls are wheat pennies. Those are nice finds. Those are cute. You may or may not find anything valuable in them, but you did your due diligence and you got a box and you found some good coins. No problem. I'm talking about the people who go to the bank every week creating an order. And they order like they're at McDonald's. I want a 3 penny, 2 nickel, a dime, and 4 quarter this week. Thank you. And they've got a couple $1,000 swimming around in their bank account just to be used for picking up and dumping coins. It's senseless. It might be a hobby to some people I just don't get. I guess it's maybe I just don't understand. There's another one of our Bar L's right there. This one goes to Adam Connor. See, I couldn't do Adam C on his flip inserts because we already have an Adam C. So I could just do Adam on one and Adam C on the other, but then we'd still be confused as to who was who. So because he had a shorter last name, I just decided to use his last name, A. Connor. But his name's Adam. And he's new to us, and he has a Bar L. So that's kind of cute. Get you a Bar L for your first roll in. Eric Beyer. I'll tell you guys something that's really cute that I just got. You know that one state that I've never been to? Oh, well, if you don't know, then you didn't watch the last show. Because just an hour and a half, 2 hours ago, I told everybody, 2 or 3 hours ago, I told everybody what the one state was that I've never been to. Hawaii. I was going through a box of rolls that I just got, and I got a Batdorf roll. A very nice, tight roll in dark pink paper. And it's a 1968S roll. It comes from a bank in Hawaii. We're going to do a reveal on that someday. That's just an interesting looking roll. I just like it. I don't hold against anyone ever for a lack of knowledge. Lack of knowledge simply means you haven't learned. It's the lack of energy in learning where you just get to a point and you just give up. It's like, yeah, this is too complicated. I just want to do it a simple way. I don't want to do anything that actually costs me any brain cells. Oh, there's another Bar L right there. Yeah, I don't want to do anything that costs me any brain cells. I'd rather just, sit back in my easy chair and look for wheat pennies. Folks, there's a lot better ways of doing that than bothering the people at your banks. There's a nice 68S roll, too. That's a really nice little Batdorf roll. I accidentally, it had tape on it, and I was trying to peel some of the tape off of it, and I peeled a little bit of the bank name off the wrapper. But down inside, there should be more of the bank name on the wrapper. I don't think it's going to be on there only one time. But it's cool 68S, and it's Batdorf wrapped, so being that it's Batdorf wrapped, it's probably still nice and red all through the inside. We're up to coin number 39 now. That is kind of a fun thing to do, Eric, until you run into a 49S roll. It has 15 different dies in it. You end up chewing your fingernails off trying to figure out what all of them are. Just trying to figure things out. Yep. And we go to, that was Dennis Paulson. We'll move on to coin number 40 now. I have been informed that I am needed elsewhere in the household after I'm finished with my broadcast, so I won't have much time after. I want to find another die number 22, folks. Well, I found one in this roll so far. Yeah. Trust me, people. This is not an easy job for someone who has ADHD, which I don't, but I could imagine somebody sitting here with 35, 40 RPMs in front of them from a single roll. They're identifying the different dies in the roll. They identify one, and they're like, okay, this is cool. Then they look at the next coin, and it's different. Okay, well, I'll identify that one too, and then they identify that one, or try to anyway. They look at the next coin on the roll, and it's different again. It's like, oh, what are the chances? I'd find 3 different dies, 3 coins in a row. They identify that one and move it off to the side. Then they look at the 4th coin. Nothing. Okay. Then they look at the 5th coin. It's another RPM, but it's different from the 3 that they'd already found. Then you look at the 6th coin, and it matched the same one as die number 2, so you're going to pull that and put that together with the 2nd coin. Then your 7th coin is completely different altogether again. And you repeat this process over and over and over again. You get to a point where you're just crazy in the fact that you can't remember what coin you just looked at. You can't remember whether this is one that you've already seen before or not. And you end up having to create a collage of photographs of the dies so that you can continue the process of making it through the roll, trying to identify all the RPMs in a single roll. I can understand when you pull, say like a collection like mine, where I've got entire tubes of 1952D RPMs, that you may have 50 different RPMs per roll. But when you open an original bank wrapped roll, you're supposed to get like 7 to 10 different dies. There were at least 16 to 18 different dies in this roll, at least. Hey, there's a science experiment for you. What caused that? Well, we don't know, but it's a huge spot. Sorry, Wild Bill. Maybe you can do experiments on how to remove that spot without damaging the coin. I challenge you. There's a struck through right there, if that's any consolation prize. Sorry about the big horking spot there on coin number 42. But we all know I didn't make it because I just opened that roll. You have a hard time attributing circulated coins that are worn. Join the crowd. We all do. That's why, when they're circulated, I really only bother trying to attribute them when they're really nice otherwise. Nice, thick, doubling, really nice RPMs, stuff like that. I don't really look too hard at circulated stuff, because if you look too hard at circulated stuff, you start seeing things that are otherwise things you would probably like to identify or attribute, but you just don't want to mess with it because they're not in good enough condition. Well, why did you look for it to begin with? One of the things I do when I get bags of wheat pennies is I'll pour them out and I'll pull out all the coins that have just a little bit of remnant luster on them. Those are going to be your XFs and above. Anything below XF I don't even look at. Yeah, I'm probably missing stuff, but I'd rather miss it than to go through the trouble, time, and effort of trying to attribute a circulated coin. Like that, a heavily circulated coin. I'd rather either be looking at BU rolls or at least XF to AU coins. You know what happens with the XF to AU coins? They're the ones that go into the rolls of better than circulated coins that I sell on eBay and whatnot. People like getting those because they're better condition coins. Basically, I've gone out and I've culled out all the lower condition wheat pennies for them and sell the roll to them for a couple of dollars. And they love it. They enjoy it. Now, a lot of the rolls that I've sold on my shows here on the auctions, in fact, all of the rolls that I've sold on my auctions here, I've never been through those. Those are all rolls that I had planned on going through and never did. So I just sold them to you guys instead. Let you guys go through them and find the goodies. No, Joe, back when I was a kid, I didn't do bank wrapped rolls because, well, I really didn't even know the difference. But when I went to the banks, I'd get pennies, circulation pennies. I'd go through and I'd pull the Canadian ones off to the side, but not because I liked them, because I wanted to keep them. It's because I have autistic spectrum disorder. And one of the things that goes into my head is that when a rule is made and a rule is laid down and I know what the rule is, I never break the rule. I'm totally honest about how I keep everything on top of the table with my dealings. I'm ethically honest as much as I possibly can be. The only time I am not honest is when I don't know that I'm not being honest. But Canadian coins are technically, put that word in your mind, technically illegal to spend in the United States. It's a foreign coin. It is not United States currency. So, when I would find Canadian pennies, I'd pull them off to the side and stick them in a jar simply because I can't spend them. They're illegal to spend. I'm not going to put them back on a roll. I don't want to break the law. Well, age and wisdom have taught me otherwise. Nobody really cares. But, technically, they are illegal to spend. Given that they are technically illegal to spend, I don't. So they end up sitting here, and sitting here, and sitting here. And in fact, I've had Canadian friends in the past that I just ship my change to because I didn't want to throw it away. I don't want to collect it. I don't want to keep it. I don't want to have it here for anything. But I'm not going to spend it in the United States because it's illegal. Well, it's pretty simple. If it's illegal to spend, yeah, I can sell them. You can sell the coins, you just can't spend them. So I could sell them at a penny a piece. But then there's, cost involved. So I pull out wheat pennies. Most of the wheat pennies I pull out, I stick them straight in the jar to be rewrapped and sold as wheat pennies. I don't look at them. It's SRK Iron Man, coin number 48. I never really did look at the wheat pennies I pulled out of change. It was kind of weird. I'm a little strange when it comes to looking through things in a microscope. I only want to see the ones that are in really good shape. I don't care about the ones that are not in good shape. If they're not uncirculated, I don't care, All right, Mr. Marshall, we'll talk next time I run into one of my little baggies that I've kept over the years of Canadian pennies. I'll give you a call. Well, man, that's good. I mean, you know some kid who likes to collect Canadian pennies and you want to give them to him. That's fine, too. I mean, I'm not saying that it is... Listen to me again. In the United States, it is technically illegal to spend or to give any currency from a different country in exchange for U.S. currency as U.S. currency. So you cannot spend a Canadian quarter as a U.S. quarter. And in fact, they're a different weight and the vending machines won't take them. But you get some gum-chewing, phone-in-the-face stuffing 18-year-old cashier who doesn't know much of anything other than what her boyfriend or his girlfriend's name is, whatever. And they'll take a Canadian quarter from you and won't even look at it. They just stick it in the drawer. I'm not saying that there's anything really wrong with doing that. What I'm saying is, since it's technically illegal, my autistic little brain, my itty-bitty little brain here, tells me you can't do it because it's illegal. That's all. Just like drawing on money. You know, people who draw on money, that's defacing currency. You're defacing currency, technically, that's illegal. You know, you're turning Andrew Jackson into a skeleton head, that is illegal. I don't do it. I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm just saying I don't do it. Well, folks, that's coin number 50 in the roll. And unfortunately, we only found one example of die number 22 in the roll. I'm going to have to go back through the roll again and make sure that I didn't miss anything. But I just don't think I did. But I'll have to go back and look again, make sure that we didn't miss anything in there. Now for the bar L's, who knows? I could have missed half a dozen of them before I found the first one in there. But here's what we've got. This is what we've got on this right now. We've got a whole pile of normal coins here. Whole pile of normal ones. And then this is the die number 22 that I found. The one single die number 22 goes to Steve Patat. Crank that up the other way here. There we go. And then for the one that looks like a little round bowl, bar L, we found 5 of those. I'm going to go through those here real quick. There's 38, 36, 29, 19, and 15. And just for who might be interested, it's Adam, Paul Hampton, SRK, Adam Connor, and Wild Bill. So we got 2 Adams, Adam Connor and Adam Chambers, Adam C. And then the other bar L that I found, the one that was in much earlier die state, much prettier looking bar, we've got Tim C. Tim C, coin number 20. And that's it. That's all I've got for now. That's all I've got for the rest of the daytime today. I'll be back at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, where we will figure out how to deal with finding 200 coins and going through them. And remember what we have discussed before. These 200 coins, if they're really messed up, or really badly scarred or scuffed, I will pull them out and you will get a different coin to replace it. For all others, the coin passes as is. And so for all others, the coin passes as is. And as I'm going through these, if I find die varieties, I'm going to send the die varieties to you, annotated as to the fact that they are a die variety, but I am not going to go through trying to attribute 400 coins. Just not going to happen. So you guys will have an opportunity of playing expert on your own at home in the safety and comfort of your quarantine, looking through the Wexler listings or looking through the Copper Coins listings to try to find a match for the dies that you are sent. So, Spike Ted Die Crack, sorry you missed it. Just remember the difference between Eastern Time and your time zone, if that is the case. I appreciate that, Silver Nitrate. I will eventually have reason. I will, definitely. Here's one of the things on the website. Just a really quick thing. Here's one of the things on the website that's going to need to be done eventually. Right now, if you think about the markers on the obverse and the reverse of a die variety, they are written in paragraph form in the database and don't have any direct relation to the photographs on the website. Whereas the way I would prefer to do it is have all of the marker information directly related to a photograph. So everything's directly related to a photograph. And so you've got 12 different photographs. You've got 12 different little points of interest as markers. And those marker information, they follow the photograph. Regardless of where the photograph is posted, it will have its marker information follow it. So I want to be able to take the 23,000 photographs that we've got on the website and write a marker caption for every photo. I know that's a huge job, but I'll need some volunteers to help with that. So we could talk about that for sure. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and take off. I'm going to go find out what the folks in the kitchen needed. And I will see you guys later. Time this evening will be 7 p.m. We'll be doing this 50s bag at 7 p.m. this evening. And Farm Dog, Wild Bill, Steve Patat, Sarah Gordon, Steve A., Jim Fletcher, Silver Nitrate, New Marshall, all you folks, if I didn't mention you, I mean it anyway. Eric Byersing J., Adam Chambers, Stephen Dallas. I'll see you guys this evening, okay? You guys have a great afternoon and a great day. Make it what it needs to be, because you don't get a second chance. Talk to you later.